Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca back at the Church of Chewbacca, and today we're going to go over the Team Affinity Face of the Franchise cards that are in the NL Central. This is going to be a ranking to rank them within the division 1 through 5. Some of the factors that go into these ranking is their attributes, their position flexibility. This is only between the 5 cards that are in the division, as well as whether or not they have a glitchy swing if they're a position player, or if they're a pitcher, if they have a windup that allows them to hide the ball a little bit better, or maybe just a funky release, like maybe someone's a submariner, or somebody really hides the ball well, like Blake Snell tends to do. That being said, let's get started into this list and see what we got going on. For this list, the 5 teams that are in the NL Central are the Chicago Cubs, the Cincinnati Reds, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the St. Louis Cardinals. At number 5, we have Joey Votto, the first baseman for the Cincinnati Reds. He's been a Cincinnati Red for a long time in his career, and he's one of the best hitters probably to ever play in baseball, especially for someone that's even worn a Cincinnati Reds uniform whenever you throw him into a team that's had a history of great hitters such as Pete Rose, Barry Larkin. However, this card does not do him justice for his career. This is based off of what he currently is today as the 36-year-old. This card in itself, it's a typical Joey Votto card. It has very good contact and not as much pop as you typically see in a first baseman. As you can see, he has 94 contact, 94 contact versus righties, 77 contact versus lefties, 74 power against righties, 65 power against lefties with 82 vision. He's going to have very good discipline. As you can see, he's diamond hitting with bronze defense. I think his bronze defense is actually a little bit low for what his attributes do say. Because if you look, he has 82 fielding and 82 reaction. His arm strength at first base doesn't really matter. Also, something to note that he's a left-handed bat, throws right-handed. I don't think whether he's right-handed or left-handed in the field really matters that much for first base. Just know that he is a left-handed batter. But I do think his defense is a little bit better than they give him credit for with the bronze. As you can see, he is slow, 17 speed. That's very slow. He's not going to steal. He's not going to leg out any deep in the hole type of hits. So that being said, let's go to his quirks. His quirks are hitting machine, walker, and pressure cooker. As I've said before, I think walker's a very good one. It allows you to check swing, draw some of those walks. I will say what makes him come in at the back end of this list at number 5 is the fact when we go through this list, you'll see there's 2 other players that play first base, and he's the worst out of the 3 of them. On top of that, within this division, you're looking at guys that a guy that plays catcher and a guy that plays in center field. So I just think that he's the worst third baseman, and I don't think within the division he's just the least worthwhile because you can get 2 better first basemen, which actually hurts him a lot whenever I'm doing these rankings. That being said, Joey Votto is in at number 5. So number 4, we have Yadier Molina. He's a catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's also been playing for the St. Louis Cardinals very long, pretty much as long as Joey Votto's been playing for Cincinnati Reds. So these are kind of the 2 veterans of these set of 5 cards. That being said, he has a secondary position of first base. He has diamond hitting and gold defense. As you can see, he's a right-handed batter, right-handed throw. As you can see for his hitting, 78 contact versus righties, 87 contact versus lefties, 55 power and 65 power respectively, righty and lefty. He has 99 vision. He doesn't have great discipline, which is unfortunate for a veteran such as himself. However, he just doesn't have a very high discipline at 52, so he's probably not going to be the best for check swinging if you're a little trigger happy with the X button when you're swinging. His fielding for a catcher is very good. As you can see, 85 blocking, 77 fielding. Now, his arm is not the typical arm that you would think of from Yadier Molina, and that's because this card is based off of the current Yadier Molina. And just with age, he's deteriorated as defensively, but he's one of the best defensive catchers in the history of Major League Baseball. So the fact that they gave him an 83 arm strength is kind of not really justice to how good of a defensive player he was throughout his career. However, the card is what it is, and for a defensive catcher, he's not bad. The 85 blocking will come in a very good handy whenever it comes to you throwing balls in the dirt or maybe throwing a ball high out, maybe two outside. He'll save you some on some of those bad pitches if you're struggling a little bit. He's very, very slow at 5 speed. He's not going to give you much stealing, just like Votto didn't. That being said, we can look at his quirks. His quirks are hitting machine, 20/20 vision, vacuum, which, like I said before, will help with the blocked balls, and pressure cooker. I don't think that this Molina card is really that good of a card, to be honest. If you're just going based off of the hitting stats, I think Votto might actually be a slightly better hitter than Molina. But the fact that Molina plays catcher and can also play first base, giving him some more of that flexibility, and his defense is definitely more well-rounded than Votto's is. That's why he gets the nod at 4 over Votto. That being said, this Yadier Molina card for a catcher, not that bad of a card. I don't think it's that great of a card either. That's why he comes in at number 4. So coming in at number 3, we have Lorenzo Cain. He's the center fielder for the Milwaukee Brewers. He can also, that's his primary center field. He can also play left field and right field as his secondary positions. He has diamond hitting and gold defense. As you can see, he has very good contact for an outfielder. He has 88 contact versus righties, 98 contact versus lefties, 53 power versus righties, 68 contact versus lefties. So obviously as a right-handed batter, he's going to hit the left-handed pitcher a little bit better here. He has very good vision at 86. Like I said before in some of the other videos, I think anything above 75 is usable at higher difficulties, especially with high contact. I think if it's above 80, the contact doesn't need to be as high because from what I've seen, contact and vision factor into how big a player's PCI is. I do think that Lorenzo Cain has a pretty glitchy swing when it comes to getting base hits. He's not going to hit the ball over the fence very much for you. I'm not even sure if he's going to hit a lot of gaps for you, maybe against left-handed pitching, but he seems to get base hits to fall on like harder line drives, but because of how his swing is, he seems to get some balls that go over the infield. Now, if you place them in the gap, obviously you hit a line drive into the gap, it's going to go against the wall. However, I do think that his swing's a little bit glitchy when it comes to making contact and getting base hits. And that's just from playing with him in the previous MLB The Show, playing with his gold card some this year, and playing some with this card as well. Now, for fielding, as you can see, he has gold defense. He has 89 fielding and 93 reaction, which means he's going to get to a lot of fly balls with 66 speed. I know his speed's not the fastest for an outfielder in center field. However, at 66 speed, I think he'll get the job done with the 93 reaction. The biggest downside of this Lorenzo Cain card, and why I maybe would recommend playing him in left field rather than center field, is his arm strength is only 54 with 64 accuracy. I understand the accuracy is not too important if you're using button accuracy. However, that arm strength at 54 is not really what you want for a center fielder. If he gets stuck in like the right center gap, he's not really going to hose anybody out. So I think that might be his biggest downside to this card when it comes to playing him in the outfield defensively. So I think about maybe putting him over to left field if you have some flexibility in your outfield. That being said, though, like I said, this card definitely hits well. It's just fielding-wise, it's a little... I'm not too convinced with that arm strength. Maybe left field might be a better option for him depending on your team. Let's look at his quirks, though. His quirks are hitting machine, 20/20 vision, quick reflexes. Like I said before, with that reaction time plus his quick reflexes quirk, I think he'll be fine in the outfield when it comes to tracking fly balls and getting underneath them and making plays when it comes to catching the ball. It's just his arm strength that just bothers me a little bit. The hitting machine, like I said before, in the 20/20 vision will definitely help him get those base hits, as I mentioned. Because of the arm strength, I believe that this is what really puts Lorenzo Cain at number 3 compared to the next two guys that are up in the division. His hitting, though, he's going to get you a lot of base hits, and I actually do kind of recommend getting this card as maybe a person late in the game. They want a defensive sub for like left field, or you just need maybe a base hit in a big situation, I actually do like this card for those type of situations. Or even as a leadoff hitter, you're trying to set some guys up, a leadoff or two-spot hitter. That being said, though, he still falls in at number 3 within this division. So coming in at number 2, I have Anthony Rizzo, the first baseman for the Chicago Cubs. He's an 89 overall diamond with diamond hitting and silver defense. Now maybe you look at this card and you see, well, this card looks very similar to that Joey Votto. Now I will say it does look pretty similar. However, Anthony Rizzo, when it comes to this card and it comes to his swing, he just seems to really tag the ball well in this game, and he seems to get a lot of more pop out of his bat than you would think that his attributes line up to. But as you look at his attributes, 90 contact versus righty, 71 contact versus lefty, 82 power versus righty, 75 power versus lefty, with 91 vision, good plate discipline, good clutch. And his fielding is 84 fielding with 78 reaction speed. He's only 21 speed, so he's not going to give you a lot of stealing. He's not going to run out a lot of those deep ground balls. I don't think for first baseman, their arm strength and accuracy matters that much. The reason why I have Rizzo here instead of in Votto at 5 and this card at 2 is because of Rizzo's swing. With Rizzo's swing, especially when you get a righty versus lefty matchup, it seems like he's always getting a base hit or putting the ball yard. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but he just has a very glitchy swing whenever I play with him, and I'm assuming others have similar stories about Rizzo. He also has very good vision, and he does actually hit left-handed pitching pretty well for a lefty. And with that vision and his pretty high contact, he can actually be used at the highest difficulties, and his PCI not be the size of a pea, which I think is very important. Let's go look at his quirks, and we'll see what his quirks are. As you can see, he has Bomber, 20/20 vision, and Walker, as well as Pressure Cooker. Now, the Walker and Bomber, the Bomber allows him to hit more home runs. The Walker allows him to have those check swings. And he also has 20/20 vision, which means, I guess if you're have good vision, I'm assuming it helps with the check swing some, and it helps with his vision stat or his PCI as well with the 20/20 vision quirk. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask SDS about that, but that seems to be something that I've noticed a lot lately is if someone has a 20/20 vision, it seems like their vision is a little bit better. Their PCI isn't as small as you would think it would be compared to somebody else with the exact same attribute stat, but not the quirk. But I would have to go and do a little bit of research to see if that holds true. And that being said, this is who I got at number 2. So at number 1, we have Josh Bell, the first baseman for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He also has a secondary position of right field. As you can see, he has diamond hitting and common defense. For his hitting stats, he has 85 contact versus righty, 61 contact versus lefty, 94 power versus righty, 85 power versus lefties, with 77 vision, 93 discipline, and 92 clutch. He's also a switch hitter. The reason he gets ranked above Rizzo on this list is primarily because he can play right field, even though he's not going to be the best right fielder. He does have that option, as well as he's a switch hitter, which means you're going to get that lefty-righty matchup or righty-lefty matchup every single time that you bat, which gives you an advantage. He obviously hits right-handed pitching better than he hits left-handed pitching. However, he does have 85 plus power from both sides, which means when you do square something up, he's going to hit the ball very, very hard. And that is very important. His fielding, common defense, he just doesn't have that great of fielding. 61 fielding, 61 reaction. He is 6'4", though. Now, you guys remember Frank Thomas last year, and this does factor into this, how big he is. You guys remember Frank Thomas last year? I believe that Frank Thomas is about 6'5", 6'4", and weighs about 240 pounds. And he was hard to get the ball past on line drives. He made a lot of plays where he probably shouldn't have touched a glove on the ball for what his defensive rating is. This Josh Bell card reminds me of that Frank Thomas from last year in MLB, the show 19, because of his height and his size. He just clogs up first base, and it's hard to get those line drives by him. Which is, I think, why his defensive stats, to me, don't matter as much. His defensive attributes, I should say, not stats. His defensive attributes do not matter as much to me as maybe they should, or if you just look at them for face value, just because he's such a big body, he does clog up that first baseman hole very well. Let's look at his quirks. His quirks are bomber, walker, pressure cooker. So he does have the bomber, give him a little bit more home run pop, and he does have walker for those check swings. So as you can see, all the first basemen have pretty much the same quirks, which means those couldn't really be factored into the rating. But Josh Bell is number one on my list, and it's before anyone says anything. I understand I'm a Pirates fan. It's not just because I'm a Pirates fan. It's because I think this is a complete and amazing card for first base. And if you're really in a pinch, you could always throw him out in right field. That being said, Josh Bell comes in at number one on this list. So within the NL Central, what we have ranking the cards 1 through 5 is we have Joey Votto of the Cincinnati Reds coming in at number 5, the first baseman, the Reds legend. At number 4, we have a Cardinals legend, Yadier Molina, their catcher. Has been with the team for a long time, number 4. Coming in at number 3, we had Lorenzo Cain from the Milwaukee Brewers, the center fielder. Coming in at number 2, we had Anthony Rizzo of the Chicago Cubs, their first baseman. And then coming in at number 1, at the top of the list, is we have Josh Bell, the first baseman for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I hope you guys are really enjoying this content. Please hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up so I know that I'm doing well. Hit the bell so you get notifications whenever I create new videos and new content for you guys. Leave a comment below so I know what you guys like or don't like, or what you guys want to see next from me. That being said, if you are enjoying the content and you want to watch me live, I stream on twitch.tv/HopefulChewbacca Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I will do bonus streams. To know when I'm going live for those bonus streams, follow me on Twitter at Hopeful1137. Also, my PSN, if you want to add me on PSN, got any questions about anything, my PSN is Hopeful1137. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate everyone watching these videos, and I hope you're enjoying the content. You guys have a good day and be safe.